Good morning, Stephen. As you can see this morning, the Premier's office, joined by a number of inspection teams such as labour inspectors, and also, as you can see from just behind the labour inspector, you also have heavy SAPS visibility. Of course, it was stated that there would be clamping down on undocumented immigrants that are working in some of those businesses that we do have in the country. This is, of course, something that we've heard from the Premier, where he's spoken about a number of times, where he is trying to ensure that the individuals, when you're looking at South Africans, he's trying to ensure that those people that are found to be working in those different businesses are actually not being exploited, and also that there are no undocumented immigrants that are working in those different places. But of course, we know that, Stephen, one of the major concerns when you are looking at undocumented immigrants in the country that are employed is that, firstly, it is unlawful, but also we have heard quite a number of times that undocumented immigrants that are working in those businesses, you do find that it does deprive South Africans of actually seeking different jobs. So at this very moment, then, they are trying to ensure that there are no undocumented immigrants that are found to be working in this location. We are at an industrial park in Umbilo, and as you can see, they are trying to verify that the right documents, a person that they are speaking to does in fact have the right documents in terms of operating here at this particular business. I'm just going to try, Stephen, and speak to him and see what he actually has to say to us. Maybe just to speak to us, do you have the right documents to be operating this business?
Yes, we do. For the operating for the business, we have all the documents.
Okay. And I know the labour inspector at some point was asking you about risk management documents. Do you have all the right documents to be operating?
Yeah, the manager is busy sorting it out. If it's not, then we will sort it out.
And are you complying with the labour regulations that we have here in South Africa?
We do. Most of them, we do.
Most of them?
Yeah, we should do compliance.
You are compliant?
Yeah, we are compliant.
So, Stephen, as you heard from that conversation, he says he is complying with the labour regulations that we have in the country. But of course, we know that in previous instances where such raids have been conducted, it has been found that the people that own those different places are actually not complying. The workers that have also been found previously, it has been noted that they are being paid under a minimum wage, some of them working overtime. What I can also tell you is that from the attempts that we've made to speak to some of the workers that work at this particular place, they are not so willing to speak to us in terms of the activities that are happening at this particular location. But the inspection itself is continuing with labour inspectors, heavy visibility from SAPS. The KZN Premier Thami Ntuli, we are told, is also going to be joining this inspection shortly. And we also know, lastly, Stephen, that we are also going to be seeing another location, undisclosed at this point, to also ensure that the labour regulations are actually enforced there.
Shop looks like quite a big establishment, seems to have a large amount of stock. I mean, clearly this is an established outlet in Durban. This is a place that people will know. Many of them will shop at it quite regularly, from what I can see.
Certainly, Stephen, as you can see, there's a number of things that are being sold here, such as home stuff, as you can see from these visuals. But my colleague Elgin Sampier is also on the other side. He is joined by the Premier. So let's just have a listen to what's happening there.
It is unemployed, almost more than 46% youth unemployed in this province. And we have business people who are making money out of the very same people, but at the very same time, they are employing undocumented foreign nationals.
Premier, we're going to get to those details shortly, but I just want to get confirmation. Is the Provincial Commissioner of Police, Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, going to be joining you at this operation?
Unfortunately, it's out of the province. Yesterday, there was a report to me that it was not going to be easy for him to find me on time, because I will be here for a couple of time and then proceed to the Economic Council. He might come, but later. But he was also supposed to participate on arrival.
Let's talk about these operations, Premier. You've been running a lot of these campaigns on clamping down on illegal migrants. But the question then becomes, what happens when they have been arrested? Are these people that are here illegally deported once the process has been concluded?
Absolutely, they are deported. Even previously, when the police were complaining about the space because of the results of the operations, because we were able to capture thousands and thousands of them, I had to raise the concern with the Minister of Home Affairs. Unfortunately, there was an intervention. We were able to deport them. But for those who are discovered to be involved in crime, they are taken for prosecution. So the process, it cleans the problem of the undocumented foreign nationals and also the criminals that they must actually go for prosecution.
All right. Premier, Eldrin St. Pierre here from Newsroom Africa. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning. So the Provincial Police Commissioner is not here, as you've just indicated. Are you able to tell us whether he is meeting with the President, whether he has met with the President after that press briefing on Sunday?
Well, I'm not aware. He has not indicated to me whether they have met. But in my understanding, it's important for the President of the Republic to get the full briefing on the issues that were raised by the Provincial Commissioner.
Yep. When the Provincial Police Commissioner briefed you on this matter, what did he tell you? And according to his explanation, does it amount at all to political interference in investigations?
I think it's crime in general, because it's all about crime. We know that we have a problem of the political killings in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, and then the task team that was supposed to assist in fighting the problem of political killings. In fact, the intervention which was made seek to deprive an opportunity the people of KwaZulu-Natal to know the truth, in fact, to even end this problem of the political killings.
Yeah. But does it amount to political interference in investigations?
Well, I will not at this stage confirm that there is any political interference, except for what the Provincial Commissioner shared with the public, the role of the executive authority.
Following these revelations, Premier, just as the provincial government, your stance with regards to the work that has been done by the Provincial Commissioner, are you in full support of what he did on Sunday?
Well, the Provincial Commissioner at all the times will brief us about crime in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, and that was no exception, because in fact, in regard of who is involved in crime, police will always brief the public on what is taking place, and we have full confidence over the police and even over his leadership in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, and the braveness, in fact, to speak to the issues which seems to be, in fact, quite issues which seem not to be easy.
Yep. The President has his announcement that he's going to be making on Sunday at 7 p.m. Firstly, as the head of government in this province, what would you like to hear? But secondly, as somebody who comes from the IFP that have also been victims of political killings, what would you like to see go forward?
Well, we want to see the problem of political killings being dealt with once and for all, especially the orchestrators and the perpetrators to be brought on book. That is point number one. Well, with regard to the expectation and what the President may say, we have full confidence on the President of the Republic, and we'll be looking forward to hear the direction and the guidance, because it is himself who would have had, in fact, a privilege of understanding better than all of us, and then the appropriate decision, in fact, that the President will make. I think it will be decision to support.
What sort of investigation?
I mean, the president will have received briefing, not done investigation, because investigations are done by the police. But
No, I'm asking now that if the president has met these various stakeholders, what sort of investigation, if there was an investigation to be announced, which you like to see, as a politician as well?
well, I think to dip deeper on who else may be involved on the problems that, in fact, are confronting our country, especially to bring confidence on the work of the police, so that we'll all continue to trust the police. I have no doubt I trust the police. I believe in the police. You see them here. They are all over to fight with us as government to try and ensure that all illegal things are removed, all criminal elements are dealt with.
Just Premier, on the sidelines of this, of course, we know the recent developments have been taking place in the province where some illegal or undocumented foreign nationals are being refused entry into public healthcare facilities. Just your stance as the provincial government, as to whether you agree or disagree with what is being done?
You see, the problem of the undocumented foreign nationals is serious. Hence, as government, we are not only participating in operations, but we are even trying to understand the extent of the problem as to why it's easy to access South Africa or KwaZulu-Natal. I've been to the border, at a border between Mozambique and South Africa, so that I had to understand better where the problem is. Now I understand when the Border Management Authority presents in our Council Against Crime, there are challenges. Now I understand actually better. And I'm of the view that it's necessary that we do not break law when we try to address the issue of the illegal or undocumented foreign nationals. For those who are stopping access to government institutions, they are also committing crime, because we have law enforcers. They are not law enforcers. They don't understand where to start and where to end. So I do not support that. I am really urging them to follow the right route. They see us as government working with the police and the law enforcers to enforce law. Why then are they not bringing into our attention problems which they see as being criminal in their nature? I think their behavior, in fact, to me, is not trying to assist the problem that we're faced with as the province of KwaZulu-Natal.
All right. Just a final one from my end, Premier. Again, on Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, his term comes to an end. Has the process around whether he gets replaced or whether his term gets renewed, has that conversation started at all?
Not yet, but for a caliber of a police, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi is, everyone in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, even outside of the province, wouldn't wish to lose such a caliber of a police. He's an amazing police, the leadership that is providing in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, which has made even the citizen of the province to have confidence on the police. You know that people had lost confidence on the work of the police, but now the way they are now cooperating with the police, the way they are reporting whenever there are criminal activities taking place, is evidence that his leadership is a wonderful leadership.
How's he doing? When last did you speak to him?
Well, we had a sit-down conversation with him last week. He's fine. We are in constant communication as the provincial commissioner. I think you'll know that the Department of Community Safety and Liaising is in the office of the Premier. So we're in constant conversation. But on a sit-down, it was last week, but even yesterday we were communicating.
There's a storm brewing in KwaZulu-Natal, and it's not just in the sky. The province's top cop, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, is nowhere to be seen, just days after dropping explosive allegations that sent shockwaves through the corridors of power. His absence isn't just suspicious, it's symbolic of the deep-rooted tension between political power and law enforcement in South Africa. KZN Premier Thami Ntuli confirmed it. Mkhwanazi is out of the province. But where exactly? That's anyone's guess. When asked, Ntuli wouldn't, or couldn't, say where the police commissioner currently is. What we do know is that Mkhwanazi was expected to make a public appearance at a high-profile raid in Durban. A perfect opportunity to stand firm, to show strength. But instead, silence, absence, a vanishing act at a critical moment. This isn't just a missing man story, it's a political thriller unfolding in real time. Just a few days ago, Mkhwanazi shocked the nation when he stood before the media and accused senior government officials, including none other than Police Minister Senzo Mchunu, of directly interfering with police investigations. He painted a picture of a deeply compromised system, where those meant to fight crime are instead stalling justice. It was a rare act of defiance, a high-ranking officer refusing to be silenced. And now, suddenly, he's out of the public eye. To understand how serious this is, we need to look at the timing. The Durban raid where Mkhwanazi was supposed to appear wasn't just any operation. It was a carefully planned joint effort, one that was expected to showcase progress in cracking down on organized crime. But his absence stole the spotlight. Instead of celebrating arrests or seizures, all anyone could talk about was where Mkhwanazi was and why he wasn't there. The premier tried to assure the public that there's no cause for concern. But for South Africans who've watched whistleblowers silenced, officials intimidated, and investigations buried, those words ring hollow. Especially when the man who's been exposing alleged political protection of drug lords and the suppression of police dockets, 121, to be exact, is suddenly off the radar. Let's not forget the stakes here. Mkhwanazi didn't just challenge a minister. He challenged a system. He opened a window into the chaos behind the scenes. Police officers allegedly protecting criminals, powerful political players derailing probes, and honest cops being punished for doing their jobs. His testimony hinted at a structural rot that can't be fixed with statements or PR. The question now isn't just where Mkhwanazi is, it's whether the state can guarantee his safety. Whether whistleblowers like him can speak out without becoming targets. And whether the political will exists to confront the uncomfortable truths he exposed. Because let's be honest, his absence speaks volumes. And until he steps back into the public eye, it's hard to avoid the fear that something more sinister might be at play. So where do we go from here? South Africans are demanding answers. Not just about Mkhwanazi's whereabouts, but about the entire justice system. About why political interference in police work is allowed to thrive. About why the minister hasn't stepped aside. And about what real accountability looks like in a country where trust in law enforcement is already hanging by a thread. Mkhwanazi's courage lit a fuse. His words sparked a national conversation. But until he returns and that conversation turns into action, the fear is this: his voice may be the last of its kind. And if we let it fade into silence, then we're all in trouble. This isn't over, not by a long shot.